Hi everyone, it's Rod here, and today I'm going to take you through how to install the Facebook pixel correctly in Neto. And this is a problem that we often see with clients. They either don't have the pixel installed and they're wanting to do Facebook advertising, or it's not installed correctly. So I thought I'd put this video together to show you exactly what you need to do so that you can do it yourself. So let's jump onto the computer. So I'm going to cover a few topics today. Number one is why you need to install the pixel. Even if you're not doing advertising, why it's a really good idea to install it. Secondly, how to install it correctly, how you can upload a catalogue feed, which is important for some parts of the pixel functionality. Next, how to check for duplicate pixel installations, which is something that we often see with clients. And lastly, how you can check that the pixel is firing correctly using the Chrome Pixel Helper. So firstly, why you need to install the pixel. Well, it's a really good idea to have the Facebook pixel installed because it's one of the most powerful ways to market to your customers, even if you're not currently advertising on Facebook. What I mean by that is that if you have your pixel installed, then it is tracking the people who have visited your website, it's tracking the people who have added something to the cart, it's tracking the people who have looked at one of the product pages, those who have reached the checkout, those who have checked out, and those who have actually bought something. So for some clients who have taken on where they used to do advertising, or maybe they didn't, they had this very large audience of people who had visited their website, so they knew about their brand, and it meant that we could immediately create a remarketing campaign that just targeted those people. And generally speaking, the conversion rate on that kind of advertising, which we would call warm traffic, is very, very high, and the return on ad spend is outstanding. So if you don't already have the pixel installed, but you're thinking that maybe you would like to do some advertising on Facebook, it's a really good idea to get it installed so that you can start building up those audiences. So you can literally create an audience that has just people that have visited your website but have not purchase anything, for example, or those who have visited your website and got to a product page. So you can cut the audiences up into different sections and then advertise to those people specifically, which is very, very powerful. So next is how do you install the pixel correctly. So I'm going to take you through how to do that. Neto does actually have an add-on, and this is only a fairly recent thing, and I'll show you how to install it properly. So if you log into the Neto backend and then go down to the add-ons, and if you just use the find function, so just press Control F or Apple F, search for Pixel, you can see the add-on there called the Facebook Pixel. So just go ahead and install that if you don't already have it installed. It will ask you for the Pixel ID. You get the Pixel ID out of your Business Manager, and I'm going to show you where that is. So this is the Business Manager for one of my clients. So if you go to, once you log in to your Business Manager, go to business.facebook.com and then go to Business Settings and then down to Data Sources and then Pixels. And once you can see your pixel there, then you can just open it in Events Manager, and then you will be able to see the Pixel ID there. So if you just click on it, it will actually copy the pixel number to the clipboard. And when you go to install the add-on in Neto, it's going to ask you for the pixel number when you go to install it, and then once that's done, it will then look like this, where you can configure it. So when you click on Configure, it just takes you to the third-party script section, and there isn't really anything that you need to do. That's how you correctly install the pixel. So if you're using the current version of the add-on, that's all you need to do. So that is going to install some code into the page footer, and it's automatically going to put the pixel ID there. It's going to put some on the purchase confirmation section and also on the product thumbnails. If you need to go back and check your pixel configuration, obviously you can go through the add-ons, but the other way you can get to it is through Settings and Tools, and then you go to Analytics and Third-Party Scripts, and then you go to Custom Scripts, and then you can see your Facebook pixel. So you can see here there was two Facebook pixels and one was configured incorrectly, so I just disabled that one and then we installed the next one. So now that we've installed the pixel correctly, let's have a look at how we can upload a catalog feed. A catalog feed is needed, especially if you have an e-commerce store, because when the add to cart events or even when the view content events are fired, it relies on Facebook having a feed of your catalog already uploaded. So I'm going to take you through how to install that. So if you just go back to add-ons in Neto once again, and this time search for Facebook again, but just do a couple of enter a few times, and it's the one here called Facebook Catalog. So if you don't already have it installed, you need to install it, and essentially that just creates another export. And there is one thing that's really important with your catalog feed. If you don't currently have the brand applied to your products, then you'll need to do that, otherwise the feed will fail. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So if we just have a look at the products here, and you can see here the brand for this product is defined, so you have to have that defined for all of your products, otherwise your Facebook feed won't work. After you've installed the feeds, if you wanted to get the feed URL, just go back to your add-ons. It's one way to get it, and we're after the feed URL, so you just want to copy that to your clipboard, because you're going to need to go over to your Facebook Business Manager to configure the feed. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that now. So go to business.facebook.com, click on business settings, and click on data sources, and then catalogs. So I already have a catalog here installed for my client, but I'm just going to add that so we can create a new catalog, and you can call it whatever you like. So your website products, and you go create catalog, and you need to select who is going to be able to manage the catalog. So you'd select yourself and then assign, and then you need to select the pixel that you're going to associate with that catalog. So obviously you would need to select the correct one. So once you've chosen that, you click save, and you click OK. So now that you've created your catalog, you're going to need to add some items to it, and I'd recommend that you do that with a scheduled feed. That's going to be the thing that will work best with Neto, and this is where you paste in your catalog feed address, and if you've got any login details, you'll need to enter that there too. And click on next, and you can specify how often you want to update the feed. Now if you don't have a catalog that changes very often, I'd go with weekly. If it's changing all the time, you choose the appropriate option and leave on automatic updates, and pick the right currency, which in my case is Aussie, and then you click upload. And what that's going to do is it's going to fetch your catalog feed from the URL that you've created. Now all being well, you should get a number of products added into the feed, and if there are some errors, you'll have to look at those. So some of the errors that I've seen are to do with some products not having a brand, and sometimes it might not even be able to find the feed. So if it can't find the feed, I'm going to show you how you can fix that. So if it's not able to find the feed, go back to your Neto control panel, and then go to all settings and tools, and go to import and export, and it's under your data export templates. So just click on your Facebook catalog, and what you may need to do is you might need to actually generate that data file. So firstly, just go into a new browser window and make sure that your feed is there. Now if it pops up a download like this, your feed is actually available, but you may need to regenerate the feed, like if you've made an adjustment to it, so you can generate the data file again. And if anything else fails, you can just refresh your caches, but just do that with caution. For some really big e-commerce sites, you might not want to refresh caches during the day. You might want to leave that till after hours. So just going back to the catalog manager, so you now have a catalog which will be associated with the pixel, so that when the pixel fires, it knows what product has been added to the customer's cart, or what particular product page they're actually looking at. So moving on, now we're going to have a look at how we can check for duplicates. Now I put this in just because this is something I commonly see with new client installations, where different agencies or different marketing people have had a go at installing the Facebook feed, and ends up with multiple versions of Facebook feeds in your Neto backend. So you want to make sure that that does not happen, and you just have one feed that's associated with one Facebook pixel installation that's associated with the correct pixel ID. So the place to do that is in the Neto backend. So to check your Facebook pixel installations, you need to go to All Settings and Tools, and then you go to Analytics and Third-Party Scripts, go to Custom Scripts, and then just type in face. Now, the reason I just put in face because sometimes there could be misspellings, and just have a look at each. So you can see for this client there's 2 Facebook pixels were installed, and one of them had the incorrect pixel ID. So to check what it is there, that's the pixel ID, so that's got to match up with the pixel from your Facebook Business Manager that we looked at previously, and you just got to eliminate all of the other pixels to make sure that they're inactive and just leave the one that is active on. So to make it a script inactive, just tick the box, and down here just go mark as inactive, and this one's already inactive, but that will actually make it inactive so that it doesn't fire. So next we're going to check that the pixel is installed properly with the Chrome Pixel Helper. So if you don't already have the Chrome Pixel Helper installed, you can get that from the Chrome add-on store, and it will also work with the new versions of Microsoft Edge. So to find it, just go to search for Chrome Pixel Helper. You can grab the extension from the Chrome store. You simply just click on Add, and if you've already got it installed, it'll look like this. And what that does is it gives you this little icon here. So I'm going to show you how that works next. So to check that your Pixel Helper, so we're just going to use my client Swing Eagle as an example. So once the page loads, you can see that the pixel is firing, and the Pixel Helper is showing us what's happening. So this event here with the green tick to it next to it is page view, so that's firing correctly. But the add to cart code is present, but it's not firing correctly because it's still on the front page. Now this is an anomaly. It doesn't actually impact how the Pixel add-on for Neto actually works, but if I do get some feedback from Neto about how to configure this so that you don't see that add to cart being fired except for where it's supposed to be, then I'll let you know. But in the meantime, it definitely does work fine, even though it's not actually collecting any data. So next you would go to your category pages, and if we have a look there, we can see that we've got a page view fired as well. And now if we actually just go onto one of the product pages, we've got an extra event that's firing now. So we've got a page view event, which is normal, but we've also got a view content event, and this is where uploading the catalog in the past comes in. So you can see here that it's actually picked up the data related to the pricing of the product and what its category is and currency and all that sort of information. Now if we click on add to cart, we should see a third event fire, which is the, let's just move this, so the add to cart event. So you can see it's got the green tick, so that's fired correctly. And now if we go to view cart or checkout now, whichever one, then we'll see something slightly different. So we're back to the Pixel Helper, and you can see the initiate checkout event has fired, which is what it should be doing. And then finally, once we go to the checkout page, you'll see we've got the add payment info event, which is fired. And lastly, once you actually complete the purchase, then the conversion event or the purchase event will also be fired. So that's it for this video. I hope that was very useful for you on how to install the Facebook Pixel correctly in Neto, and also the Facebook Catalog add-on. Now there is a lot more about the Facebook Pixel which I'd like to cover in future videos, including how you can use it to create different audiences in Facebook for your advertising. But that's all for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.